Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any like, share, subscribes, comments, follows are greatly appreciated. It helps me do what I do. So this is part of the free daily readings that I put out to help support the collective. They are general, take what resonates and leave what does not. This is where I combine my energy work and my tarot work to bring a narrative to you to help you guide your day and make the most out of your day and the energies you'll feel within you, around you, and within others. So, being the 18th of September 2020, it's an emotional day. Yay! So we've got the first card being the Six of Cups. This has kept coming up as well. We're having running themes. Of course we are. We're very much going through a collective energy right now of outside forces trying to affect that, and us, you know, doing our spiritual work within that, within ourselves. So this Six of Cups representing the past, representing sentimentality, looking towards the past, emotional connections to things of the past. This can be both good and bad because, you know, we are conditioned and indoctrinated a lot by the emotions that we have no control over as children, in that we are taught by example. And so there's been many generations going through the same emotional attachments of, say, the crown, royalty, politics, which side, organized religion, which one. And we tend to form our fundamental attachments to that as children, not because we necessarily align with whatever that emotional attachment is to, but we do align with the adults in our lives that have those emotional attachments. So it's passed down to us. This causes an unquestionable faith. This causes an unquestionable belief system, an unshifting belief system. So we see that where we see people divided, in a lot of ways fighting, when there's such contradictions in place that should show that they should be teaming up together. We're seeing that on the ground where people are fighting through emotional attachments mostly. And so it will seem nonsensical. We are seeing nonsensical division and fighting right now. It comes from a very deep-seated place, from the past and the emotional attachments that we had to those in our lives that we looked up to, that we loved, that cared for us. You know, we attached to whatever affiliation that was, whether it was a religion, politics, royalty, whatever it was, the systems. We attached through our love for the individual that taught us about them, or that led by example, by you know, supporting them. And we are finding that this is challenging because we are finding truths being revealed. We are finding that the systems, although good concepts in a lot of ways, you know, the police system, good concept, the hospital system, great concept, but it was built by the few for the few. Religion, seemingly good concept, built by the few for the few. Royalty, very definitely constructed, manufactured, and built by the few for the very few. And so we are seeing our emotions being challenged, and instead of getting down to the nitty-gritty, we are reacting emotionally to that. So we're seeing that on the ground. When you see people, you know, God forbid, on the news, mainstream news, being attacked, or we're seeing a snippet of it. We're not even seeing it in full context, but it drives the division deeper, because whatever side you're on, whether you're on the side of the attacker or the victim in that said clip, it drives you emotionally because that person represents your loved one. That person represents the person who initially indoctrinated you to that side because you love and appreciate them. So now you can understand why you see people who haven't done the digging, who haven't done the inner work, reacting and being triggered in a way that seems nonsensical. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, again, a repeating card coming up to clarify this Six of Cups. And she is grounded. She looks and works with the elements. She is timely. She is organized, strategic, and all the while stays grounded. And that is the most important thing to be able to do right now. We cannot search ourselves, our emotions in particular, for where things got in and what the truth is regarding that. Do we actually support the systems that we've been indoctrinated to support? Do we actually support the views of political figures? Do we actually see the truth? How many times have you been fooled by a prime minister promising the earth? How many times have my American brothers and sisters been fooled? Think of Obama, you know, by a president. Yet again, nobody can accept that they could be fooled again. There's not the grounded energy there. So it's important to stay grounded through this in order to look through the past, to not look at it with too much sentimentality right now, but to look for the truth, to look for the real inner standings of where you stand, not where your loved one stood. You know, they may be stood in that way when they had less information, when there was less truth to be found. You're not that now. There is plenty of truth in whatever systems that you've been supporting, for both good and bad. So to stay grounded is very important right now, to be able to sift through these emotions. The next card is the Seven of Cups, and of course you can see is in dark, you know, the green representing his heart chakra. Again, that emotional attachment. There's confusion here. There's so many options in all of these different cups. He doesn't know where to look, what to go for. There's a washover. That is deliberate. Now, from the collective stage, we're being bombarded with propaganda of those violent clips, of certain things that political figures are saying, of certain rules, and it sends us in a tailspin emotionally if we're not, like the Queen of Pentacles, grounded. And so the choices everywhere. Which one do we go to? Desires, projects, but you know, even they're getting put on the back burner because there's just this non-understanding of where these different beliefs and emotions got in, where these emotional attachments were created. And the Devil card clarifies this, and it's that chained up feeling. Now, instead of using the Devil card in its divinity, in that, you know, chiseling away, going to your lower realms, being grounded in doing so with this Queen of Pentacles, but going to your lower realms to truly understand where your chains are, where your indoctrination is, where your emotions really stand. What is the truth behind what you believe in? Careful of the mic, sweetie. So you're chained up, you're tied up to those. Why? Because we go back to that Six of Cups. The emotional attachments that you're feeling right now for political figures, religious, whatever it is, 9 times out of 10 have been created in your childhood because you respect the person who is the adult in your life that is emotionally attached to said side or said organization. And so there is this chained up feeling and not knowing where to go to actually find out where these chains got in. Actually, a lot of people not even realizing they're chained up, not even realizing that they're chained to their lower realms. They can't chisel away at those inner demons, those inner diamonds that reside in the lower realms to create true foundation. No, they are so confused, they don't even know they're chained up. So you see this triggered response, emotional, over-emotional, triggered response. The Devil card isn't actually, you know, the one, this evil being outside of self, chaining you up to those lower realms. No, the Devil card invites you to be there, to really seek the whole knowledge of self, from bottom to top, from in to without, to you know, as above so below. It's a reflection of the all. And so that's the invite. It's ourselves, the indoctrination, the conditioning, the relationships that we get in, the limitations, the labels, all of those things that we accept and we build emotional attachments to that actually chain us up. It's not a being outside of ourselves, it is ourselves. It is, and they are powerful. It's a powerful source. Our lower realm is a powerful source to use for our whole self. And if you want to look at it this way, the way we've gotten into the situation that we're in right now is that actually give them credit where credit's due. These few that we don't see, we don't hear from much, they didn't lose the knowledge. They took the knowledge and kept it and passed it from generation to generation. They use their inner lower self and they use it to its fullest. Yes, they're chained up in different ways, but they are using more of their whole self than a lot of people in the collective. And it's for us to take that divinity and sovereignty that they still claim back as individuals. And that means not being afraid of our lower frequency, of our darker side. Because if we are afraid of it, these chains will come out in emotional triggers. It's not as if by ignoring it and be all light and all namaste that you are going to get rid of that lower self. It's there, it's part of you. It's to be used constructively. When it's not used constructively, hijackers will come in. Hijackers will make sure that adults in your life are emotionally attached to their movement, to their needs, to their wants, to their desires, to their projects, in order to chain up many generations thereafter. Because again, you're not falling in love with the movement when you're a child, you're falling in love and emotionally attached to make your parent proud, to make your granddad and grandma proud. And so it works. And so this is where it comes out. It will come out, but it comes out in people being triggered on the streets to attack each other, people being triggered on the streets to kill each other in the name of a movement that they don't even understand the drive of, that they don't even understand the full entirety of, all through emotional attachments. The devil card really does, when used in its divinity, in its upright, really does channel us and challenge us to gain control of our emotions. If we gain control of our emotions in our lower realms, that helps us raise our consciousness. That helps us build a diamond foundation that reflects and bounces light from the lower realms to the top. It accentuates the higher consciousness when used correctly. So the next card is the Queen of Cups, but it's in reverse. And again, the cups emptying up, you know, this intuition, this trigger, this intuition, this intuitive queen, this emotionally balanced queen, loving, compassionate queen is upside down. A cup's emptying out. You know, she's not guided by her intuition. Her waters are in turmoil. Her waters are chained up and in the Seven of Cups, in confusion, in misunderstanding and acting out. This is where you will see the violent emotional outburst. This is where you will see in people in your individual lives lashing out at you emotionally, trying to hurt you emotionally, trying to trigger you emotionally, or it might be you yourself doing this. If so, it's time to go to those lower realms. It's time to explore where those chains are. Start brushing off those dull diamonds as they are when they're in the ground, brushing them off, polishing them out, chiseling them into magical shapes so they can reflect and refract light all around you. This will turn this queen in the upright immediately. It's a process, but it works. Now, to clarify this queen in the upside down, we've got this right up queen with fire. It takes a bit of fire sometimes to cleanse and burn, to create a landscape for new growth. It takes a bit of passion and drive. Now, while this Queen of Wands is open and compassionate, she's sensual. So she's good at the lower realm self. She's good at channeling that energy to be passionate and sensual in the best possible way. Compassionate also, but she does have that fire. Now, although she can be a bit shy in crowds, in the inner self, this is where the fire needs to burn, in this lower realm, to be able to dissolve and cleanse away those chains that exist that are of emotional attachment. And sometimes we need that bit of push. You might find that things are happening in your life in relationships that come out of the blue today, that really, put you even further into these chains. Remember my words if that happens. Know that this was a push because you weren't listening to yourself. You've maybe been indoctrinated too much in it's all got to be light, all got to be light, all got to be light. Well, then you're missing a half of yourself. And that half will come out at some point in time, especially when there are so many people around us, so many narcissists, so many people on the collective stage, more than willing to create these triggers and these chains, because it serves them. It serves their purpose, their movement. Serve yourself. Put that fire within, put that drive within your lower realms. Explore your lower realms. Find out who you really are, not what these chains say that you are, not what any conditioning, indoctrination, even if it's been done out of love and innocence, not what they say you are. Find out who you are. Find out what you are. Remember why you came here, what you came here to do. Hopefully for most of you, it'll be to leave the place in a better state than we found it for the next generation. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Knight of Cups, and so this again, emotional, but he's in his upright. There's messages coming to you from the universe, from your lower realms, from the people around you, for good and bad, that will emotionally, if you decide to channel them correctly, will emotionally give you an uplift, will make you emotionally stronger, more emotionally balanced. So take that to mind. It might be that people are giving you very loving messages in order to highlight the fact that, you're getting a bit triggered, you're getting a bit out of line, you're getting a bit out of balance. Don't take it as this Queen of Reverse would initially want to take it and throw it in their face. Accept that work, it does need to be done, and accept that the universe and the people around you are kind enough to get those messages to you. On the bottom of the other deck, we've got the Five of Pentacles. This need to let go, and there's a lot to let go of, and we've been so indoctrinated, it feels so difficult to let go and cut out certain people in our lives, to really look at the people that are on the stage, the collective stage, and see what it really means, who they really are, what they really stand for. And that can be difficult, but it is so, so necessary for your children, for your children's children, and thereafter. This is critical right now. Give yourself a little bit of a head shake if you're questioning that right now we're in a wartime scenario. War doesn't look the same every time. Technology's gotten better. Mind works have gotten better. MK Ultra style have been more refined. But this is the pivotal point that we've been going through this year. This is the balancing point to see what kind of reality we build for the next generation. And if you're still questioning, if you're still using the word conspiracy theorist in a derogatory manner, give yourself a head shake. Videos never come out of China. They refused to allow that to happen, yet there were so many. Not with sound, but seeing people just drop to the ground. Bam, looked like a sniper to me on a lot of the videos. We're getting information, and the world is taken up a worldwide lockdown, and people losing their businesses, and everybody thinks, oh, it's terrible, we're in this together. No, we're not, because the few have made billions in profit during this time. Billions. The fact that they're putting on the masks does not protect from coronavirus. On the boxes, I posted a picture of it, because legally they're covering their backs to say, yeah, we're telling them to wear masks. But, you know, we're better actually, corporations have given themselves a shake and thought we better actually protect ourselves though, and say that these kinds of masks do not protect. Give yourself a head shake if you're questioning whether things need to be done drastically, and that starts within you. This is happening. This isn't a drill anymore. They had their drills in 2019, literally. They had their meetings, their drills, their planning of how they would roll this out. Where we are now is representative of where we are within as a collective. That we are not willing to be divine and sovereign. That we are not willing to have the relationships in our individual lives that would reflect the honesty and truth that we would expect on the collective stage. It's all about energy feedback. We created the space, the few took the space. Kudos to them. Time to let go. It's time for them to lose those seats. It really is. So I'm going to stop ranting because ears to hear and eyes to see and all of that. But expect a lot of triggered responses today, both in your individual lives and on the collective stage. For those of you who've been doing the inner work, you know, it still means that you're going to see it, but you're going to see it from a more balanced state, and it shouldn't take you out of emotional balance, which is excellent. And more people have been doing that work. So thankfully, that is some kind of reprieve. We have got people that we can reach out to and talk to honestly and have some sane answers given. So, you know, much love. Sorry for that. Be balanced, but I'm always a truthful tarot, and be whole. Love you all.